Hi, Sue.
Hi, Linda. It's so awesome that we just met face-to-face yesterday.
You know what? My 14-year-old said to me before I left, she said, "You mean you guys never even Skyped?" We never even Skyped.
No.
We were too busy on GoToMeeting.
You're an email
and
person, and phone person.
Yeah.
I'm a phone person. She's an email
Yeah.
person,
so. Quick background, I met Sue about 2 years ago. I had been struggling for a decade as a coach and finally went, okay, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, so let me actually invest. So I made a list over there this morning of everybody I've invested in over the last couple of years. It's a long list, and it's a lot of money. And then which is okay. I made great investments. And then I ranked them in terms of like need versus want. And she's one of 2 needs. And there's about 7 on the list. The other ones were great, branding and sales training and things like that. That actually you need sales training, but if you're going to run an online component to your business, you've got to have an engine that works, whether it's autoresponders or getting Infusionsoft set up or the myriad of other things that you help me do. And I just feel like I was divinely guided to you. And I remember specifically our conversation. It was a rainy January night. I pulled over in the car. I had filled out your strategy session application on your website. I'm like, who is this chick? She's got a really long application. I'm like, okay. And it was the best investment I ever made. So here's what I want to tell you. When I met her, I had a rocking year, and I made $11,000 that 1 year. Since then, I am well past 6 figures, and she's a major part of it. So thank you. Like, no kidding. And you guys should know that we have... Actually, this is interesting. So I started with Sue. She got me set up with all the ramp-up stuff I needed. And then I strayed. I, like, cheated on her a little bit. Because she... I did. And I went, I thought we were done. We kind of got our work done. And I went and I hired one other company, disaster. I then switched to another company, disaster. And I called her up in crisis in the middle of what we call a launch, because that other company, it was just a disaster. And I woke her up. She hopped back onto my system. She fixed the problem, and I haven't left since, and I've asked her to marry me a couple of times. And I don't play for that team, but...
She doesn't want to lose me.
So I can't say enough about Sue. I would not be here where I am today without her. And here's the thing about Sue. I mean, I have invested a lot of money in a lot of different mentors. The thing about Sue is not only is she good at what she does, she just cares, and she's a good person. I mean, talk about somebody with heart who comes from a service mindset and just sort of brings her whole self in. I talk about being a hokey-pokey entrepreneur, put your whole self in, right here. So she helped me get the online version of my business going, and I just couldn't be more grateful. Yeah.
I remember many a times we were texting in airports, and,
yeah. And actually,
until the stewardess the flight attendant tells us to hang up our phones. But I got it. We're doing the launch here.
And I have to say, maybe once or twice I've lost my cool. I've never seen you lose your cool, ever. I've seen you do such great client management with a stressed out, overworked, client. You're a master. You really are. You're not even geeky, but that's what you call yourself. So, yeah, you're the coolest geek I've ever met. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You have blessed me as a client too, Linda.
Well, thank
totally.
you. I'm glad you still feel that way.
High needs.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. But she doesn't lose her cool, which is amazing, because for those of us who don't know technology, it's the most nerve-wracking thing, especially when your income, which mine is, I run a virtual company. I maybe meet, one client a month out of all of the clients face-to-face. So my whole company is virtual. So it needs to run well. 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, she planted the seed. Like, you teach this course, it's really good. And she assisted me on the course, so she really got to know the nuts and bolts of it. And she said, you really need to turn that into a home study course. I'm like, oh, I hadn't even thought of that. She's such a good strategist. I made $4,000 that month off that one idea that I wouldn't have thought of. Thank you. It was very helpful.
No.
It was under a different business arrangement, but
Yeah, and I remember too, way back when, in one of the initial testimonials you gave me, practically a couple of years ago, where you said something similar. The very first registration form that you put out there on a talk that you gave, and we were kind of going over it a little bit. I mean, it's part of what I help with is offline too. The forms that people put out, just the kind of the.
you help with everything. I mean, it's hard to know in this technical world who you need where. Like, do I need a social media guru? Do I need a geek? Do I need a VA? What do I need? And it's taken me a while to understand how all those pieces fit together, not being technical. Sue is a combination of so many things. She's a CTO, like a chief technical officer, which you need. But she doesn't mind rolling up her sleeves and being your virtual assistant. She doesn't mind rolling up her sleeves and doing what it takes to get it done. So over the last couple of years, we've basically cleaned the toilets and also, whatever, had elegant dining. I mean, we've done it all. You've done it all.
Yeah.
You're never too above anything to just get it done.
Well, it's important to get it done. And it's important to get it done correctly. And
Even if it's 2 in the morning.
even if it's 2 in the morning, even if it's changing 14 pages of of verbiage on a sales page.
You always do it with a smile. I don't know how you do
You
it.
gotta get it done. You gotta get it done right.
Yeah, that was a recent, we have a lot of history. Yeah, that was a recent thing where she really believes in full service, which is very unique. You don't find that. Everybody specializes. I do this, but I don't do that. You have to go find this person for that. She's very unique in that.
Yeah, one of the things back in the early days, I was saying when you were putting the registration form out, and I had said, well, put a little checkbox for people to sign up for a strategy session application, and you hadn't done that. I don't know if you even remember. It was so long ago.
No, that's so long ago, right? I'm like, oh, I can do that?
I remember because it was stuck on my testimonial and all my different flyers that I put out there. But it was an idea that you hadn't thought of, and you got 5 additional strategy sessions from it.
Yes, that's right. Now I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are worth your weight in gold. Yeah.
So my intention isn't just to help people with what I do, but to bring the returns back, to really follow it through and see that they're doing things in a way that will bring the revenue and just some simple little tweaks.
Yes. 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 Absolutely.
Awesome. Good. All right.
Thank you, Sue.